My child, freeze, not your body, your spirit. Let everything inside you go completely still for just this moment, because what is happening right now, in this exact second, is not ordinary. What is happening right now has been arranged, orchestrated, and fought for by heaven itself. The angels who have been assigned to your life are watching this moment with an intensity you cannot comprehend. The throne room of heaven has leaned forward, and the God who holds galaxies in his hands stopped to speak directly into your ear. Do you understand what that means? The same voice that said, "Let there be light," and split darkness from nothing. The same voice that called the oceans to their boundaries and breathed life into dust. The same voice that has never once been wrong, never once been late, never once failed a single soul that trusted it. That voice is speaking to you, right now, in this moment, with everything heaven has.
And what it is saying will change you forever, if you let it reach you. My child, I have been watching you. Not the version of you that the world sees. Not the composed, functioning, holding it together version that shows up every day and does what needs to be done. I have been watching the real you. The one that exists beneath the performance, beneath the coping, beneath the carefully constructed walls that pain taught you to build. I have been watching the you that wakes up at 3 a.m. with a heaviness that has no name. The you that laughs in a room full of people while something inside is completely silent. The you that prays and then wonders in the same breath whether the prayer is reaching anyone. The you that has carried a grief, a fear, a wound, a question so long that you have almost stopped noticing it is there. Like a stone you have carried so many miles that your hands have simply shaped themselves around it. I see that you. I have always seen that you. And I need you to hear this. Hear it in the marrow of your bones. Hear it in the quiet spaces behind your ribs where you store the things you cannot say out loud. You were never meant to carry any of it alone. Not one day of it. Not 1 hour. Not one sleepless 3 a.m. moment of it. I was always there. I am here now, and I am not leaving. But my child, I need to tell you something urgent, something that cannot wait, something that has been building in heaven with an urgency that finally broke through every barrier to reach you today. You are standing at the most critical crossroads of your entire life. Not one of the most critical, the most critical. Everything, and I mean everything, that has been prepared for you. Everything that has been held in reserve with your name on it. Every answer, every breakthrough, every door, every healing, every promise that heaven spoke over your life before you were born. All of it is pressing against the present moment with an urgency that makes the atmosphere around you tremble. You may feel it right now. A strange electricity in your chest. A pressure that is not quite physical. A sense that something enormous is very close, closer than it has ever been. That is not anxiety. That is not imagination. That is the weight of heaven pressing against the thin veil of the natural world, trying to break through into your reality and deliver what has been waiting for you. And here is what no one has told you. There is a force trying to stop it. My child, the enemy is not a concept. He is not a metaphor. He is not a theological abstraction for human weakness. He is a real, active, strategic, deeply personal force that has studied your life with terrifying focus. He has watched you since before you understood what watching meant. He has cataloged your fears, your wounds, your patterns, your triggers. He has mapped the architecture of your doubts and built his attacks around the blueprint of your specific vulnerabilities. And he has had one primary mission with your life. Not to destroy you outright, though he would celebrate that. His primary mission has been subtler,
quieter, more patient. His mission has been to delay you, to keep you just far enough from your destiny that the blessings hovering over your life begin to thin, to keep you just tired enough that you never find the strength to fully say yes, to keep you just confused enough that you mistake his lies for your own thoughts, to keep you just wounded enough that trusting feels more dangerous than staying small. Delay, distraction, discouragement, doubt. These are his 4 most powerful weapons against your life. And if you look honestly at the last season you have walked through, the exhaustion that made no sense, the confusion that came out of nowhere, the sudden waves of hopelessness on days that should have been fine, the strange heaviness that settled over you like a fog, you will begin to see the pattern. You will begin to see the strategy. You will begin to understand that what you experienced as weakness was actually warfare. What you interpreted as failure was actually resistance. What felt like God's silence was actually the enemy's noise, carefully engineered to drown out the voice that was speaking your name without ceasing. Heaven was never silent. I was never silent. I have been calling you every single day of every single season you thought you were alone. My child, I want to tell you about a moment in the unseen realm, a moment that happened not long ago, in the space where time works differently than your eyes can measure, where the enemy stood before the assignment on your life and looked at everything heaven had prepared for you. He saw the doors, he saw the blessings, he saw the relationships, the purpose, the provision, the healing, the specific and extraordinary future that I had authored for you with my own hand. He saw the light that lives inside you, the same light he has been trying to extinguish since the day you arrived on this earth. And he was afraid. Not the temporary, manageable fear of someone who thinks they might lose a small battle. The deep, destabilizing, panicking fear of someone who knows with absolute certainty that if the person standing in front of him ever fully wakes up, ever fully surrenders, ever fully steps into what they were created for, his entire plan collapses. He was afraid of you, my child. He is still afraid of you. And every attack, every sleepless night, every wave of confusion, every whispered lie that said you were too damaged, too late, too small, too sinful, too forgotten, every single one of them was not the roar of a victor. It was the scream of a terrified enemy watching heaven's plan for your life advance despite everything he threw at it. You survived his best attacks. You are still standing. You are still here. And that terrifies him more than anything. Now let me tell you what heaven sees when it looks at you. Not what the enemy whispered. Not what your wounds convinced you. Not what the failures of your past tried to define you as. What heaven sees. Heaven sees a warrior who fought through seasons that should have broken them and didn't. Heaven sees a spirit that bent under the weight of pain but never fully shattered. Heaven sees a heart that bled and kept beating. Heaven sees a soul that lost hope 100 times and found it again 101. Heaven sees someone who prayed broken prayers in the dark and kept praying even when the silence felt deafening. Heaven sees someone who is exactly where they are supposed to be in this moment, ready, whether you feel it or not, ready for the shift, ready for the breakthrough, ready for the doors to open, ready for the chains to fall, ready for the weight to lift, ready for the healing to begin, ready for the future that has been waiting with your name on it since before the world began. You are ready. Not because you are perfect, not because you have it all together, not because you have earned it or deserved it or figured it all out. You are ready because I say you are ready. And when the creator of the universe looks at a soul and declares readiness, no amount of unworthiness, no mountain of past failure, no depth of old wound can contradict it. You are ready.
No way! Did you see
and your
that
moment
shot?
is
That
now.
was absolutely insane.
My child,
we just
I need
clutched
you to
that
feel
round.
the weight
Chat.
of what I am about to say. Every single thing that hurt you was allowed because heaven saw what it was producing inside you. Not because pain is good, not because suffering is the goal, but because inside every fire that tried to consume you, a purity was forming. Inside every storm that tried to drown you, a strength was developing. Inside every season that felt like death, a resurrection was being prepared. The very things the enemy sent to destroy your future were the tools heaven used to forge you for it. The rejection that devastated you sharpened your discernment. The betrayal that broke your heart deepened your compassion. The loss that emptied you created space for something greater to fill you. The failure that humiliated you dismantled the pride that would have corrupted your blessing. The silence that felt like abandonment taught your spirit to root itself in something unshakable. Nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one sleepless night, not one unanswered prayer that was actually being answered in a way your eyes could not yet see. Not one moment of confusion that was actually clarity being processed at a depth your conscious mind could not access. Not one wound that was not simultaneously, quietly, divinely being transformed into the very credential you would need to walk into the future heaven designed for you. Nothing was wasted. And now the season of transformation is giving way to the season of release. The season of building is giving way to the season of breakthrough. The season of enduring is giving way to the season of receiving. The season of holding on in the dark is giving way to the season of stepping into the light. This is the turn. This is the shift. This is the moment every prayer you ever prayed was reaching toward. Every tear you ever shed was pointing to. Every act of faith you performed in the dark was building momentum for. Right here, right now, in this moment. And heaven is asking, with a love so vast it bends language to contain it. Heaven is asking you not to walk away from it. My child, there are people in your life who need what your breakthrough produces. There are lives that will be touched by the healing you are about to receive. There are stories that will be changed by the testimony your breakthrough creates. There are people still in the darkness you are walking out of who need someone who survived it to reach back a hand and say, "Follow me. I know the way out." Your breakthrough is not just about you. It never was. The enemy knew this. That is why he fought so hard. Because he was not just trying to stop your blessing. He was trying to stop the blessing your blessing would become to every person your life would touch in the years ahead. He was trying to cut the thread of destiny, not just for you, but for everyone connected to you. He was trying to abort a ripple that heaven intended to become a wave. But he failed. He failed because you are here. He failed because you listened. He failed because something in you, something small and stubborn and quietly magnificent, refused to fully let go of the possibility that maybe, just maybe, heaven was still speaking. That maybe the silence was not emptiness, but fullness pressed against a door that was about to open. That maybe the delay was not denial, but preparation. That maybe the pain was not punishment, but process. That small, stubborn something, that was faith. And faith, even the size of a mustard seed, is enough for heaven to move mountains. My child, I'm going to ask you to do something right now. Something simple. Something that will feel small, but will carry the weight of everything. Open your hands. Not necessarily physically, though you can if you want to. Open your hands in your spirit. Release the grip you have had on your fear. Release the grip you have had on your confusion.
Release the grip you have had on the pain you have carried so long it started to feel like part of your identity. Release the grip on the version of your story that the enemy wrote, the version that says you are too late, too broken, too small, too far gone. Let it go. And in the space that releasing creates, and there will be a space, a beautiful, aching, holy space, let me fill it. Let my peace come in where fear lived. Let my clarity come in where confusion lived. Let my love come in, the real, uncontainable, unconditional, completely irrational love of heaven. Let it come into every room of your heart that pain had locked and left dark. This is the exchange heaven has been waiting to make with you. Your ashes for my beauty, your mourning for my joy, your heaviness for my praise, your broken story for my restored one. It is not a fair trade. It was never meant to be fair. Heaven has always been irrationally generous with the souls that trust it, and today that generosity is being poured out specifically, personally, urgently for you. My child, the window is open, not cracked, not barely ajar, open, wide, fully, with the light of heaven pouring through it and the sound of answered prayers rushing toward you from the other side. But windows do not stay open forever. This moment, this specific, divinely appointed, enemy-feared, heaven-orchestrated moment is a window, and I am standing in it, reaching both hands toward you, calling your name with everything I have, asking you, begging you with the desperate tenderness of eternal love. Step through. Step through the fear. Step through the doubt. Step through the unworthiness you were taught to feel about yourself. Step through the confusion the enemy engineered to keep you paralyzed. Step through every lie that ever told you the blessing was for someone else, someone better, someone more deserving, someone further along. Step through, into me, into my purpose, into my peace, into the life that has been waiting for you on the other side of your surrender. My child, I need you to hear this as the final word I leave ringing in your spirit. I chose you, not because you were the strongest, not because you were the most qualified, not because your record was spotless, or your faith was flawless, or your past was clean. I chose you because I looked across all of eternity and I saw you, the real you, the broken you, the striving you, the sometimes failing but always reaching you. And I said, that one, that heart, that soul, that life carries something I placed there myself, and I will not rest until it is fully realized. You were not an accident. You were not a mistake. You were not a backup plan or a second choice or a consolation prize. You were chosen, specifically, intentionally, with full knowledge of every flaw, every failure, every wound, every wandering, and chosen anyway. That is not religion. That is not theology. That is the beating heart of everything I am toward you. Chosen, loved, seen, known, held, right now, in this moment, exactly as you are. And so, my child, I say to you with all the authority of heaven and all the tenderness of a father who has never stopped loving you for a single second of your existence, stop running, stop hiding, stop delaying, stop believing the voice that tells you the blessing passed, the window closed, the chance expired, the story ended. It didn't. I didn't. I am here, right now, in this moment, closer than your next breath, more present than the air around you, more real than anything your hands can touch. And I am saying your name, saying it with urgency, saying it with love, saying it with the full weight of heaven behind every syllable.
Come. Come out of the pain. Come out of the delay. Come out of the smallness the enemy convinced you was your permanent size. Come out of the fear and into the freedom I paid too high a price to let you miss. Come. Your breakthrough is not coming. It is here. Your healing is not on the way. It is here. Your season of overflow is not a distant dream. It is here, standing at the door of this moment, knocking with the knuckles of divine love, waiting for you to say the one word that changes everything. Yes, say it now, in your spirit, in your heart, in whatever broken, trembling, barely holding together way you can manage right now. Say yes, and watch heaven move. My child, you came here today not knowing what you would find, but heaven knew. Heaven always knew. And heaven has been smiling since the moment your eyes found the first word of this message. Because you came, and coming was enough. Welcome home.